All right. Hello, everyone. I'm here with Summer Marie Brown, candidate for City Council Place 7 at large in Cibolo, Texas. Summer, thank you for joining us this evening.
Hey, thank you for having me, Ron. It's great to be here and talk about the future of my city.
Oh, yeah. So let's get started with the basics. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who is Summer Marie Brown?
Oh, that's a loaded question. Sure, I'll tell you a little bit about me. I've called Cibolo home for about 14 years. I am a mother of four, a veteran of the United States Army, and I'm deeply, deeply committed to community service. Um, I'll go a little bit into my background a little bit. I served about 23 years in the United States Army as a medical service corps officer, where I've led teams in and out of combat, humanitarian missions, and like I said, including a tour to Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Those experiences really helped me to lead diverse teams under pressure and make really good decisions, have integrity, and remember to always put people first. So, a little bit after retiring, I built a career in human resources, labor relations as a consultant, and that's what I do now for government contractors. Um, I'm also a certified mediator. I love to help organizations solve big, complex problems. Um, and I love to build strong teams. But Cibolo has always been a place that I knew I would call home eventually. I was stationed in Korea when Cibolo came on the map of my mind. I was looking for a really good place to raise a family, and I knew that when I got to Texas, I was going to stay. So Cibolo was the second stop in Texas. I was at Fort Hood first, but it was the second stop in Texas, and I knew I wasn't going to leave. I mean, I love this place. This is where I chose to raise my family, serve alongside and with my neighbors, and I love to give back right here in Cibolo. So,
Well, let me tell you, thank you for your service. To me, the veterans don't get thanks enough for what they went through, and a lot of people don't realize that. But that's what it's all about. So that's an impressive background. I mean, what inspired you to run for city council with a background like that? I mean, well, I will leave it
well,
at that. I'll leave it city council. I was gonna go a little higher, but we'll stick with city council.
yeah, I started a little bit higher, to be honest, Ron. I started with ran for mayor of the city of Cibolo, which was a really good race. I ended up in a runoff election with the current mayor, and Mr. Allen took it away. He won, and he's been doing his job since then. But what made me come back to the table is I learned a little bit about the local government, and I knew that I would be more effective as one of the decision makers. So I wanted to run for city council instead. So that's why. But I have a couple things that I keep in mind: service to community, service and community first, protecting the residents and making sure that the growth is fair, economic development, not just of big business, but small business too. And, protecting the small business owners. That's really important to me because I'm a small business owner myself. Um, and economic empowerment, which was really, really, really important, and making sure that we continue to invest in our youth. And personally, just a legacy of service and representation. I just feel like we need that, and I feel like embody all of those things that are important to me, and that's what I'll bring to the city of Cibolo.
Hmm. And what do you think qualifies you for this position?
Oh, people ask that all the time because they assume that you have to serve on all these boards and do all this other stuff, and I just don't believe that is the case. I feel that my qualifications come from life experiences and my service. Leading soldiers across the world taught me to be disciplined, have empathy, and work as a team, and not just work as a team, but work with all kinds of people from all walks of life. Cibolo has exploded in growth in the last 10, 20 years. And, in with that growth, come in people like me, thinkers, strategic thinkers, really good people, a lot of veterans that come with ideas and skills that can help push our city forward in a positive manner. Um, but like I said, I'm a huge teamwork type of individual, mediator. My civilian career in labor relations and organizational development have really strengthened my skills in communicating with people and problem solving. And I think that's something that our current council needs. And I'll also bring that. So,
Okay. Before we go to the next question, I want to talk about being qualified for places. We have this stigma that you must do this, you must be that, you must be here, you must be that. That's thinking inside the box. We need to
hmm
start thinking outside the box and seeing things outside that will affect inside the box. So
hmm
people still think that we got to go by the status quo on what's in that box in order to run. I'm a firm believer that thinking outside the box is good. The reason why I say
it,
that, you bring more in, because when you think outside the box, you're thinking about all the other people outside that box, not just the one that's right there. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. Well, I think when you just kind of, what the city of Cibolo has done in the past is kind of regurgitated leadership and kind of people were put in places because they know people instead of what they could possibly bring. Or maybe they served on a board or maybe they didn't. We have people that never served on boards prior to taking a seat on city council. But you're right; those people stay inside the box. But when you come from outside the box, you can look at the chokehold and have a different perspective and maybe a different solution that actually works. But we'll never get there unless we invite new people to the table.
Okay. So now let's talk about Cibolo itself. What do you love most about the city, and what do you see as its biggest opportunities?
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. So what I love most about the city is the quaint, like the small town charm, which is kind of what brought me here. Besides, of course, academics and sports at still high school, but Cibolo has really, really big potential. Nearly half of the residents that live here well, almost half, are military families, which are people like me, people who value service, structure, and community, fairness. That gives our city like a really, really unique strength. Our biggest opportunities lie in managing growth properly. We can attract businesses, expand infrastructure, and all those great things, but we can do that and still protect the character of our neighborhoods. So it's about being more proactive, being more strategic, and not just reactive.
Okay. I see you've been very, very local about civic engagement. Why is it important for Texans to stay involved and vote in every election?
Wow. Yeah. So that's something that I'm super passionate about, and that along with education. And in Texas, I did a video earlier about how elections happen every year, and people really don't know that. I mean, if you look at the last election, and I don't remember the numbers, so don't quote me, but the last election that I participated in when I ran for city mayor, the number of people that came back and voted was really next to none. I mean, it was crazy. And a lot of people that I talked to say, well, we didn't know there was a runoff election. What is a runoff election? And so after that race, I did a lot of educating people. But the thing is, like, um, after people are educated, what are they going to do with that information? Right. And so you kind of have to continue to feed them. Most people always know about the big statewide elections and the national elections that take place. But the local elections are often forgotten. And those are just as important. We're talking about school board, we're talking about ballot measures, roads, oh my goodness. I say that a lot, the flooding that's taking place. We make decisions about those things that impact your life daily. And I think that, people they don't know that. And those elections are just as important as the national elections. I mean, if not even more.
Yeah. So let's stay on this about the election part, about how important it is for us to vote locally. People don't
Mhm.
understand that. Let them do what they want to do in Washington. It's going to trickle down to us. but we need to worry about us locally. And there are a lot of people who say, I didn't, like right now, the election coming up on Tuesday. I didn't know we had that going on. So, what can we do to get the people involved? Do we got to start doing that grassroots stuff, knocking on doors and stuff? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think people are fearful of knocking on doors the way society is right now. So, what other measures can we use to get to the voters to let them know, hey, there's an election Tuesday?
We just have to show up and be present and not be so fearful about knocking on those doors. I mean, I completely get it. I believe in that my Second Amendment right as well. But Texas is, truly kind of wild. But I think we just have to have the courage to do it. We need to get out, talk to our neighbors because your neighbors know people that know people. Basically just communicate with your network. And as leaders for the city, we need to be doing something more too. I know in our city we have like these bulletin boards kind of out on the road that are like super old school. Like we have so evolved, and those need to be updated. And then maybe placing it on social media. That's a big thing. More of that, and just kind of word of mouth. Tell your neighbor. I tell people, hey, I give them my card and I say, hey, I'm running for city council, place 7. Do you know anybody in Cibolo? And if they say no, I said, if you live in Cibolo and they say no, I said, but I bet you know somebody in Cibolo. Do me a favor, go grab them by the hand and take them to the polls on 4 November, and have them vote for me. But a lot of it is word of mouth. We have to get out. We have to educate people. We have to talk and be present. And what I mean by that is we have big events in our city all the time. We need to be at those big events, reminding people, passing out literature, and kind of doing what we need to do to continue to force educate.
Mm, I hear you on that one. Force
Hmm.
educate, but it's funny. The more things change, the more they stay the same. You think you reach the voters, but yet they go right back to where they were. Like, okay, it's over with. We had that big election. I'm not voting anymore. A lot of
Hmm.
voters are disgruntled. They're
Yeah.
just plain they figure that their vote don't count, and it
Hmm.
does. So we got to let them know what's going on. Like for instance, what's coming up for voters this year, and how can they get involved? So that was a question I was giving you. I just led right into it without even saying next question.
Heck, it involved. Well, I mean, they really should get involved. I mean, I just can't even think of a reason why people wouldn't care about their property taxes or city budgets and things like that. I mean, the constant construction, especially in Cibolo. Like, I would want to know, okay, when is it going to end? And how long and how long do we have to endure, and what's going to be, the way ahead, and I just can't imagine not wanting to know those things. But I know that I'm probably very different because some people just deal with it and move on with life. Yeah, I don't know. That's difficult. I mean, even stuff like school board, like I need to know, this zoning thing, this zoning requirements and things like that for different schools and how they affect the different developments. I mean, I learned that along the way, and I'm just like, I would care about those things,
Hmm.
you know. But I guess I'm just different.
Well, that's why we need people different. That's what we need, not the norm, but shake it up a little bit. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about your platform. What are your top priorities for Cibolo?
Oh wow. Um, My main 3, I'll say, I mean, of course, as I go along around and talk to the residents, those priorities kind of shift. But the 3 that I've been campaigning on are smart growth and infrastructure, like planning roads, drainage, and the development to keep pace with the rapid growth that we're experiencing, because I don't think that it'll slow down. This is still the I'll call it we're still a part of Military City, USA, and this is still one of the, I guess, preferred places to retire from military. I mean, not just that, but just people kind of, coming in. So that. The second thing would be public safety and services, supporting our first responders, parks, and community programs, so that they meet the needs of our residents. We were told that all of these communities would somehow connect with a walking path of some sort. So we had looked forward to the greenery and things like that, the parks, and I'd like to be a part of the team to make sure that that happens. The third thing is transparency and engagement. Building trust through open communication and giving residents like a stronger voice in the decision making that's happening in the city. And with that being said, transparency, engagement, we need to hold people accountable. If the developer says they were gonna build a park, they need to be building a park for that community. If they're going to be building a pool, they people are expecting that, and they move in those places and spaces because of those things that are supposed to happen. So I learned some things about contracts and contractually, and I'm just not really a fan of signing a contract that I don't have a really the best understanding. And it appears that things like that have happened. Well, it just takes one to ask a question, and I'll be that one to ask why. Why doesn't it say that? Why doesn't it encompass that? Well, then we need to go back to the drawing board, Mr. Developer, because our residents are paying for this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just one example. I also want to like champion small businesses and entrepreneurs like myself because they are the heart of Cibolo's economy. When you're in a small town feel, there's a lot of small businesses, right? So we need to make sure that we're protecting them too. We have like a lot of construction on 1103, and we have small businesses on 1103 that suffer because of that construction. So my question, if I were on council currently, what are we doing for those businesses? They are suffering financially because of this construction. How long is this construction going to take? What are we doing for these businesses so that they can stay in business? But you know, those people are the heart of Cibolo's economy, and we can make it easier for them to open, grow, and thrive by streamlining the city's processes and cutting out the red tape.
Mm,
So
those are some
I hope that,
strong priorities right there. What message would you like to leave with voters as election day approaches?
man, there's so much. There's so much. I want voters to remember that local elections matter. They're very important. Educate yourself. They determine what happens next in our neighborhood, how our tax dollars are used, and what kind of city we want our children to inherit. Um, and if you believe in smart growth, strong families, transparent leadership, I'd be honored to earn your vote on November 4th. You can actually meet me at the polls. I'll be bouncing around to the different areas in my immediate area. And I just believe that together we can build Cibolo that works for everybody. Safe, strong, full of opportunity, and all that other good stuff.
Okay, beautifully said. Thank you, Summers, for being on the show this evening. We really do appreciate you taking the time out.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, take care, and we're gonna follow up with you. Uh,
Oh, please
we're
do.
gonna follow
Please
up
do.
with you. We want to
I
make
would,
sure
I'd like
that
to
things are going on, and like you said, local elections matter. People need
yes.
to know, need to get out and vote. A little short story. I stayed in this small town, and it was this one constable that was there that did everything you could think of that was wrong. And people say their vote don't count. So we got together and formed a online newspaper, and
Hmm.
and the election came and all that stuff. And when the final tally came in, she lost by 13 votes. So
Wow.
it does matter if you get out
It
there and
does.
vote. 13 votes.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
if you
That's
don't
a huge scare of mine too. Because I'm like, I have reached out to so many people. I was taking every day I would go to Walmart and
Mhm.
pass out cards at Walmart because I know that's where people are. At HEB, I do the same thing. I would go and I spend so this entire campaign I would go almost daily and spend at least an hour or two in HEB or Walmart, and I pass out cards and talk to people.
Yeah.
Now, if all of those people that I touched go and vote, I'm good. But that's that next step, people have to go actually you gotta vote. You have to go. You gotta go stand in line, talk to folks, get to know your neighbors, and you gotta go vote.
I'm glad you said that because I shared with you something today that I said I was going to do, and I did it. I uploaded it already. A lot of people go to the polls. We got 17 amendments.
17.
17. I sat
17.
down for the past 3 days coming up with the pros and cons and a little
Mhm.
summary. I uploaded all 17 plus the Bear County Proposition A and B, and I gave my
Wow.
own pros and cons on what to do just to keep you informed. So that's
Mhm.
uploaded right now on Texas in Color. You can have your fun with it. Just click on and listen to it. And you can always do some more research and everything. The research I did, I found out about all this. And I'm going to say it's pretty good because it opened my eyes because they give you the amendment and they say what it is. And that's it.
Yeah,
And you got to make up your mind. Okay, so what are the pros and cons?
exactly.
So I did that to let everybody know they can make up their mind by listening to what I said. I said I was going to do it for you, Summers, and I got it done.
Yeah. Yes, that's so good. I'm so excited because this ballot is, I don't know, I think it might be the longest ballot that I've ever seen. There's a
Yes.
lot. Even on Cibolo's ballot, there's some charter review. They updated the charter review, and there are some things that you can say yes, I'm for or against or whatever. But really take your time, and it is okay to take a piece
Mm-hmm.
of paper in the booth with you with your yes and no's on it, just to kind of help you remember that you. So take that. I would encourage people look at those propositions. Know what you voting yes and no to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have some serious opinions on two of them in particular, three and
Yes.
seven. So, but you really need to know what you're voting yes and no for. I just can't imagine somebody going in there just yes, no, yes, no. I mean, oh, these decisions are so important about our
Yes.
our society. So, but yeah, thanks for doing that because any education helps. An informed voter is dangerous. So,
Yes. Well, once again, Summer Marie, we appreciate you being on, and she is running for what's that? City
place,
Council, Place 7 at large in Cibolo,
yes,
Texas.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So please go vote on November 4th. I need your votes.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Recording.
All right. That was Summer Marie right here, and she was here, and we enjoyed the um, interview with her. A lot of things in there. So y'all need to take what's going on and make sure you get out and vote on November 4th. It is so important locally and statewide. We need to do this. This is Ronald Gordon with Texas in Color. Y'all have a blessed evening.